Continued.
Again.
Three's the charm.
Yes. So Rita and I were talking about that latest grant that Liz was recommending. Are we going to not go with that at this?
I don't know, Ron. That's a Sean question.
Well, I asked Rita to kind of pull all the information together, and maybe Rita, if you could just send out an email to everybody with the basics, due date, grant award, limitations and match requirement, if any, and all that, and that'll maybe nudge the conversation along.
Okay.
Yeah, Rita, do you know, that's probably not going to be awarded for another year or so, that the water quality sampling one, right? That's the one we're looking at now.
Was it for sampling? It was like a demonstration project. Is that
Pilot project, yeah. Yes. So they would take the Mayford River project and turn it into a pilot project. So the way I see it, it might be it's out of order. But maybe it's something we want to look at. Yeah,
right.
so by the time we're done, we'll probably have the grant approved, and we'll still be waiting for an answer.
Yeah.
Ron, we got an 11 o'clock.
I just sent you a request. Dave Martland wants to do a pre-application discussion on Aquidneck Center if you're available. If you're not, that's fine. I can just meet with him.
Let me see. I planned everything right after this one to go do my stuff. Let me see if I can free up.
Well, like I said, if you can, that's fine. Otherwise, don't worry about it.
Thank you, Ron.
All right, so we're just after 9 o'clock here, so I think we'll go ahead and get started. This is the May 4th Star Wars Day version of the Technical Review Committee meeting. We have one item on the agenda. I'll just read it in. A recommendation to the Planning Board, application of Aquidneck Crossing LLC for combined master preliminary and final plan approval for a major land development project and development plan review approval for a proposed mixed-use development, including 12 residential units and 10,124 square feet of office space contained in 2 existing buildings. And excuse me, this is pursuant to Article 27A of the Middletown zoning ordinance, which is the mixed-use zoning ordinance. So with that, it's a fairly limited review I think we'll be doing today, since there's really no site work proposed. It's primarily the conversion of an existing office building and office space into residential units. But we'll go through the project and maybe start with Chris or Lynn. You can unmute yourselves and turn on your camera if you wish to, and maybe just give us an introduction as to what you're proposing.
All right. Good morning, guys. Hey, Chris. Warren,
Chris.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, great. So all we're asking for is, if for those who aren't familiar with the project, it was originally constructed in 1965, the first building, and that is the one we're focused on. The second building was constructed in the early 70s. That was constructed as an actual office unit, office use building. The first building that is the request at hand was actually constructed as a 12-unit apartment building in 1965. When Spike Sullivan saw some opportunity in the 80s for office space for defense contractors because there was none, he did nothing to the building but started renting out the apartments as offices. And as such, during some time, the zoning on the property was changed to office zoning. We recently went back to the council to take advantage of the mixed use, which seemed to be a natural fit because we wanted to convert the 12 units back to residential. And so we received that approval from the town council, and we're before the planning board to finalize that. We are just actually, we didn't even change a wall inside the building. When we took over the building, all the kitchens and baths were still in place. So all we're doing is asking for the planning board to approve the conversion back to its original use of 12 units. We're not changing the footprint. However, we are upgrading the building significantly. 100% new electrical, 100% new plumbing, 100% new HVAC, 100% sprinkler system, and 100% local fire alarm. We have installed a new roof, and we're in the process of installing new windows. So I would call it a 100% renovation to the building without any change to the footprint. It's all interior. And we did install electrical service. I think, Chris, you worked with Jack on this, moving it underground from National Grid's pole into the building. So we'll be removing the overhead electrical lines.
Did,
Really, in a nutshell, Ron.
Yeah. Chris, it looks like Pat Hayes is on. Did you want me to let him in?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just in case anybody has any questions.
And it looks like the architect might be here too, but I'll just hold off on them unless there's any questions.
Sure.
So with that, as I said at the outset, it's a very limited project. It is our first mixed use project coming in under the relatively new ordinance. And as Chris mentioned, the property was rezoned to limited business to allow for the project to proceed. But there's really limited site work, if any, really. There's no changes to parking, landscaping, anything really. So with that, I guess I'll start with Warren. From an engineering perspective, do you have anything to talk about?
The traffic, is there going to be an increase in traffic on Forest Ave? Is there any kind of signage, new entranceways, Chris?
Yeah, good question, Warren. So we are not changing the entrance or the exit to the property. And in fact, the traffic will be the same. Looking upwards really generates most of the traffic, but with 12 apartment units, I would imagine, we had the office building was vacant, but it was occupied by 2 tenants who did have, a lot of people going in and out, the home health care as well as the accountant. So I think it's going to be relatively the same at the end of the day with the 12 units.
Good. I think that's all I have, Ron. I mean, sewer's the same, drainage is the same. There's no change, no increase in impervious. No. Thank you.
It doesn't look like Bob Hanley's going to join us. Did you mention this to him at all, or did you talk with him about any issues he might have, Warren?
I did. He knows it's on, but I can hear him. He's on another phone call right now, Ron. I don't think he's too interested in, tell you the truth. Not
okay. I guess that means he doesn't have any concerns, which is fine.
no.
Chris, zoning or building issues, anything from you?
I went through the plans. I was a little shocked because I wasn't aware of the zone change yesterday. I kind of ran around, but as long as we have that, the special use permit's going to be all it needs. I see this existing parking, travel like that. So setbacks, it meets all the other criteria except for that special use permit from zoning.
Yep.
So I'm good with what it was and is. Yeah.
Okay. And what'll happen is the planning board, when it reviews this, it's on the agenda next week. Their review will result in a recommendation to the zoning board due to that need for the special use permit. So I think we're all aware of the process there. And then from my perspective, commercial design standards, there's really nothing that's applicable due to the limited nature of the project. Normally for a new building, we would be talking about the architecture, the exterior materials, of course, landscaping and all of that. But given the limited nature of the project, is really nothing that's applicable from the commercial design standards perspective. And then also there are some design requirements within the zoning ordinance under the mixed use ordinance, but those are, again, relevant to new buildings. They're not really applicable to this type of situation where you're converting an existing building and it's mainly interior work. So with that, I really don't have anything much to add to the conversation either. I don't see fire department on. I didn't know if they had any concerns, and I haven't heard from them. So I guess we'll assume that for this meeting that there are no issues. And if I do get anything from them before the planning board meeting, I'll just forward that on to the planning board. And I guess the same with public works. If there are any issues that arise with Bob Hanley's review, I can forward those concerns to the planning board before next week's meeting. So with that, Chris, unless you have anything else, I guess, Chris Bisho, that is, I would just accept a motion to forward the application to the planning board with a positive recommendation.
So moved. Ron, and I have one comment too.
Sure.
The quick comment is the Conservation Commission is going to meet Monday at 5:30. So the applicant knows that I know Jim Gedney, the chair, is pulling together that meeting as we speak. So that's on. I'm not sure if you do that or not, Chris.
Yeah, I'll just, Chris Bisho. So what happens is because this is coming through as a major land development project as per the ordinance, we're required to notify basically every committee in town, as well as some state agencies like DEM, that this project is being considered, and they're offered the opportunity to comment. If we don't get comments, that's fine. It's not going to hold up your review next week. But just so you know that, those committees and agencies were offered the opportunity to review the application.
Okay.
Thanks, Ron.
So with that, Warren's made a motion to send it forward. Is there a second?
Chris Costa seconds.
Seconded by Chris Costa. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. So you have a unanimous positive recommendation to the planning board, and we'll proceed with that review next Wednesday night. And as I said, any comments I get in between now and then from others, we'll just forward those on to the planning board.
Excellent. Thank you all very much. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Chris.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Warren.
You're welcome.
Okay, with that, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Have a good day, folks.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Ron and Rita.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ron, Rita.